This video we are going to discuss example 8, and then example 8 actually they combine the exponential function together with the polynomial. Okay, so we are just going to discuss this for this video, this example for this video. Right, so let's have a look for the question. We are having the polynomial, and then it is a cubic polynomial. All right, so for first part, they want you to show that f bracket -2 equals to 0. So this part, I think you should know how to do it, right? You substitute the -2 into x. Okay, into the function and get 0. So very easy to show. I'm not going to show in detail how to do it because all this you learned it before in chapter 1. Okay, so after you substitute it, then you will know that x plus 2, because x equals to -2, right? So x plus 2 will be a factor. Okay, for the polynomial fx. All right, then now they want you to factorize fx completely. So when they want you to factorize the fx completely, generally you need to apply the long division. So 12x power 3 plus 25x squared minus 4x minus 12. And then you need to divide it by x plus 2. So how you know it's x plus 2? You actually get it from partner. So x equals to -2 when you get it equals 0, which means x plus 2 will be a factor. Therefore, the factor can be a divisor. So you do the long division. So after you do the long division, your final answer, you try to rephrase and factorize everything into the simplified form, the most simplified form. Your final answer should look something like this: x plus 2, and then 3x minus 2, then 4x plus 3. Okay, so this is the answer for factorize completely fx. Okay, so you apply the long division and then you try to think like how to write the answer for long division into the fx and also factorize it in details. Okay, so again, if you already forget what have you learned from chapter 1, please have a look and do some simple revision for polynomial part. I'm not going through all this in detail anymore, so make it as a practice for yourself. And then after that, now we want to discuss part number 2. So for part number 2, they give you this equation. They want you to state the value of 3y and find the y correct to 3 significant figure. Okay, so do you still remember I told you before, right? Usually for A-level style question, the old A-level style question, part 1 and part 2, usually they are linked. Okay, that means if you want to know roughly how to solve part number 2, you can actually sometimes refer to part number 1. Okay, so I want to compare these two equations here. So part number 2, you see that I'm having 12 here, and this is 12 plus 25. You can see that the plus 25 here. Okay, then minus 4. You can see the minus 4 here also. And after that, minus 12. So you can see the minus 12 here. Generally, you will see that the coefficient for in front of the x, right, are the same for part number 2. Okay, so if you want to compare slowly for these two parts, what you can compare now is you will look at -4. So -4, x is what? It will become -4, 3 power y. So that means what? That means let x equals to 3 power y. Okay, so x is actually the 3 power y if you compare. So 9 power y, how you compare it with x squared? So actually it is 3 power y squared. So if you expand everything, it will become 9 power y. Then this one also the same. 27 power y is actually 3 power y power 3. So how to change it back become 27 power y? You apply the power on power rule yourself. Alright, then you can get this. So from here, you can see that these two equations are actually the same, but they substitute the x by using 3 power y. Okay, so now they want you to state the value of 3 power y and hence find y correct to 3 significant figure. Okay, what are the values of 3 power y? So that means 3 power y is x. Okay, so what are the value for x? Okay, so from this answer in part number 1, if you let fx equals to 0, your x will be x equals to -2, x equals to 2 over 3, and also x equals to -3 over 4, right? Okay, because now everything equals to 0, right? So it is equals to 0 here. The whole is 0. All right, so let this whole equals to 0, that means you're having x equals to these 3 values. So which means in our part number 2, I will have 3 power y equals to -2, 3 power y equals to 2 over 3, and also 3 power y equals to -3 over 4. And now they want you to solve, okay, the equations and get the value for y. So to get the value for y, you need to take ln both sides, right, for all these 3. If you take ln both sides here, you'll get math error because -2 is a math error. Therefore, this one, ignore it. For the third part, also the same. If you want to take ln for -3 over 2, you also have math error. Therefore, you also ignore this part. So when you try to solve this, you have y equals to ln 2 over 3 divided by ln 3. So eventually, you have only one value for the y, which is -0.369. All right, so this question is not hard if, let's say, you know how to compare part 1 and part 2 together. But too bad, a lot of students, they don't know how to compare it. All right, so I'm showing you here to compare one term by term, and eventually you know that x is actually equals to 3 power y. Okay, so this is one example how they actually combine the exponential function with the polynomial together. All right, so please take note that you know how to link them together if necessary. Okay, so this is what we want to discuss for this. We will stop here.